Hey everyone! Welcome back to 7 Waves of Knowledge channel. Today we're going to talk about something that everyone could use a bit more of: creativity. Whether you're an artist, a writer, or just looking to boost your creative thinking, I've got 7 easy and practical tips that can help unlock new ideas and inspire you in all areas of life. Let's dive in! Keep a journal just for your creative ideas. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a space for thoughts, doodles, or inspiration. Think of it as your personal idea bank. Capture ideas and train your brain. Inspiration is everywhere, in everyday moments and conversations. These sparks of inspiration are fleeting. That's where the journal comes in. Don't judge what you write down, just get it out of your head. Make keeping a journal a daily habit. Your future self will thank you. Creativity isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Trying new mediums, whether it's painting, writing, photography, or music, can open up entirely new ways of thinking and creating. Even if you're just experimenting, you might find that working in a new medium unlocks ideas and perspectives that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. We all have our go-to ways of expressing ourselves. Maybe you're a writer at heart, or maybe you're drawn to music. But the truth is, limiting yourself to just one medium is like staying in your own lane on a highway. You're missing out on all the scenery and possibilities in the other lanes. Think about it this way: each medium has its own unique set of rules and limitations. And those limitations can actually be incredibly freeing. When you're forced to work within a new set of constraints, you have to think differently. You have to find new ways to express yourself, and that's where the magic happens. For example, if you're used to writing stories, trying your hand at photography might help you see the world in a more visual way. You might start noticing details that you never would have before, and those details could inspire new stories. Or, if you're a musician, trying out painting could help you tap into a different side of your creativity. You might find that the colors and textures you use in your paintings start to influence the sounds you create in your music. The point is, you never know where inspiration is going to strike. So, be open to trying new things. You might be surprised at what you discover about yourself and your creative potential. They say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and it's true for creativity too. Being around people who think differently, who take risks, or who create amazing things can be super motivating. Try to connect with artists, innovators, or anyone who inspires you. You'll find their energy is contagious and often sparks new ideas of your own. Think about the people you spend the most time with. Do they encourage you to pursue your passions? Do they challenge you to think differently? Or do they bring you down and make you doubt yourself? We all absorb the energy of the people around us, whether we realize it or not. So if you want to be more creative, it's important to surround yourself with people who inspire you. People who are doing the things you want to do, or who are at least supportive of your creative endeavors. Now, this doesn't mean you have to ditch your old friends, but it does mean being intentional about who you're spending your time with. Seek out people who are doing interesting things, who are passionate about their work, and who are always learning and growing. Go to events, join online communities, or just strike up conversations with people you admire. You'll be amazed at how inspiring it can be to connect with like-minded individuals. Remember, creativity is contagious. So, surround yourself with people who light your fire and watch your own creative spark ignite. Chapter 4. Take breaks. Sometimes the best ideas come to us when we're not actively thinking about them. Ever had a light bulb moment in the shower or while on a walk? That's because giving your brain a break lets ideas simmer in the background. So don't feel guilty about taking a break when you're working on something creative. It's part of the process. We live in a culture that glorifies the hustle, the grind, the constant push for productivity. But the truth is, our brains weren't designed to operate at full capacity all the time. We need time to rest and recharge, and that includes our creative minds. When you're working on a problem or trying to come up with new ideas, it's easy to get stuck in a rut. You start going over the same ground again and again, but nothing new seems to emerge. That's when it's time to step away and let your subconscious mind take over. Think about it like this. When you're working on a puzzle, sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away from it for a while. When you come back, you'll often see the solution with fresh eyes. The same principle applies to creative work. When you give your brain a break, you're essentially allowing it to process information in the background. You're giving your subconscious mind the space it needs to make connections and come up with new ideas. So the next time you're feeling stuck, don't force it. Take a walk, listen to music, meditate, or just do something completely unrelated to your work. You might be surprised at what bubbles up to the surface when you give your mind a chance to wander. Life gets busy, and often creative pursuits can fall to the bottom of the list. Make it a point to carve out time specifically for creativity, whether it's an hour in the morning or just a few minutes here and there. Regular creative time helps keep those ideas flowing and reinforces the importance of creativity in your life. It's so easy to let our passions fall by the wayside when we're caught up in the day-to-day grind. But the truth is, creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. If you only allow yourself to be creative when inspiration strikes, you're missing out on all the times when you could be actively cultivating that inspiration. Think about it. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon if you only went for a jog once a month, right? You have to train consistently to build up your endurance. The same goes for creativity. If you want to be more creative, you have to make time for it on a regular basis, even if it's just for 15 minutes a day. Schedule it in your calendar like any other important appointment. And during that time, commit to doing something creative, even if you don't feel like it. You might be surprised at what you create when you show up consistently, even when you're not feeling particularly inspired. One of the biggest blockers to creativity is the fear of failure. But here's the thing, failure is part of the creative process. Not every idea will be perfect, and that's okay. Each attempt, whether it succeeds or fails, teaches you something new. So, don't be afraid to experiment, mess up, and learn as you go. We're often taught from a young age that failure is something to be avoided at all costs. But when it comes to creativity, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to it. Think about any successful artist, entrepreneur, or innovator. Do you think they got to where they are without failing along the way? Of course not. They probably failed more times than you can count. But the difference is, they didn't let those failures stop them. They learned from their mistakes, they iterated, and they kept going. The truth is, you're going to create a lot of crap before you create something great. That's just the nature of the creative process. But each failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. So embrace the messy middle. Don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to make mistakes. The more you're willing to fail, the faster you'll learn and the closer you'll get to creating something truly remarkable. Last but not least, change your surroundings every now and then. Visiting new places, even in your own city, or trying new activities can expose you to different sights, sounds, and people. This kind of sensory input fuels creativity by giving you fresh perspectives and ideas that you can incorporate into your own work. It's easy to get stuck in a rut when you're surrounded by the same things, day in and day out. Your brain gets used to the same sights, sounds, and smells, and it stops seeing the world with fresh eyes. That's why it's so important to shake things up every now and then. Get out of your comfort zone and explore new environments. Travel to a new country, take a hike in nature, or just visit a different part of your city. Pay attention to the details around you, the architecture, the people, the sounds, the smells. You'll be amazed at how inspiring it can be to simply change your perspective. New experiences create new neural pathways in your brain, which can lead to new ideas and insights. So make it a point to expose yourself to new things on a regular basis. You don't have to travel the world to find inspiration. Sometimes, all it takes is a walk around the block with fresh eyes. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd love to hear your own creativity tips, so drop them in the comments below. Let's share the inspiration. Thanks so much for watching. I hope these tips give you a little boost and help you feel more creative. Remember, creativity is something we can all grow and nurture, no matter where we're starting from. Make sure to subscribe if you want more videos like this. And until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and stay inspired.